What's up? Welcome back to Nowstalgia. Dave here with a review of Harry Styles' fourth album, Kiss All the Time, Disco Occasionally, or Kissco for short. Harry Styles back with his first album in nearly 4 years since Harry's House came out in the beginning of 2022. That album, of course, was a surprise Album of the Year winner at the Grammys that year, and Harry, at this point, is established as an absolute megalith when it comes to pop stardom. He has some of the biggest songs in the history of Spotify, of course, as it was off the last album. 4.2 billion streams on Spotify, good for the fifth most streamed song on the platform. He has numerous other songs with 2 billion plus, 1 billion plus streams. Harry is huge, and he's also using that stardom to be perhaps the face of the residency model when it comes to live performance. He's continuing this trend from his last tour and taking it a step further with numerous dates in a row at one location. 10 dates in Amsterdam, 12 at Wembley in London, 6 in Mexico City, and then an absolutely astounding 30 consecutive shows at Madison Square Garden in New York City. Of course, he's taking breaks in between, but this residency concept of having your fans come to you as you perform in the same location for an extended period of time is pretty interesting to see with pop stardom, and Harry is really leaning in. Harry Styles' fourth album, Kiss All the Time, Disco Occasionally, or Kissco, is a really intriguing sonic pivot for the pop star. While he's still heavily working with producer Kid Harpoon, this music takes a clear turn directly into electronic pop music. The ambient synths, the thumping bass, there is a groove to this music that Harry just never had. Harry is also vocally a lot more interesting on this album just because there's some variety here. Some of his most energetic and up-tempo vocals are present on Kissco. I'm not sure if any of these songs will reach the massive streaming highs that his past songs have, but to me there's just a lot more creative decisions going on with this album, and I find that a lot more interesting. I love a song like Ready, Set, Go. That melody is very sticky, very groovy track overall. Season 2, Weight Loss, has my favorite chorus on the whole album. Dance No More, probably the catchiest song of the bunch. Harry surprised me with this one. And I do find it cool that after, waiting and close to 4 years, pretty significant wait here given he just won Album of the Year with the last record, that there is a bit of a shift here. And is this like a massive pop shift in terms of the greater pop landscape? Not necessarily, but it's definitely a shift for Harry Styles. I think Harry Styles, his songwriting style was definitely pretty in vogue. Like, he has a lot of peers in the pop space at this point, whether you think of like McGee, Benson Boone, the style of songwriting, Alex Warren as of last year, right? There's people doing stuff like this. But to then bring in this electronic undertone, nodding to like his British peers, the 1975, for example, to me, it just adds a little bit more substance to him. I've never been a massive Harry fan on the album front. I've definitely liked songs here and there. To me, my favorite Harry song has remained Lights Up from the first album. When I've heard stuff find great success like Watermelon Sugar that I thought was just incredibly bland and vanilla, I was getting disappointed. I definitely thought Harry's House was a step in the right direction. I think songwriting wise, put the pop in the cinema. I think there was some good stuff there. Jumping right into that first track, Aperture, you have this ambient synth right away, kind of this light bass drum, and that different production style, that different vibe is immediately present. And I love the way that that bass tempo really sits in because it just comes across as new for Harry to me. And I like the way the beat, builds more layers. And then Harry's vocals, I think they're really matching how that beat sounds, especially as he gets more energetic with his vocals as the beat gets more layered. Pretty cool. American Girls, you have that snare bass really thumping after a softer start. And Harry, again, lets it out vocally a little bit more as the song progresses. Ready, Set, Go, as I mentioned, love the bass line. I love the way the snares come in. There's a little synthesizer in the background as well. It sounds cool. Much stickier melody in the first 2 tracks. The vocals, they have this like reverb touch at the beginning of every note, which was quite cool to me. I think the bridge, the roar vocals dive into this like distorted effect, which again, not something I'd expect from Harry. And then you have this like pretty eclectic beat breakdown. Cool song, again, kind of involved and different from what he's really done. Are You Listening Yet? You have these hard drums, cool tempo, pretty solid. Taste Back. Did You Get Your Taste Back? Love that hook. I think the vocals, though, a bit mellower again. He kind of goes up and down. I think like vibe-wise, like song to song, there's definitely a ride the wave feel to listening to this. But the faster drums are still pretty nice. The Waiting Game, just fine, pretty middling. Squeaky beat, I guess, kind of stood out to me. As I mentioned, Season 2, Weight Loss has an absolutely mega chorus. Really great stuff there. Coming Up Roses, I love the way the strings are dancing. The song basically becomes completely orchestral out of nowhere, albeit it's a bit slower, a bit of a change from season 2 Weight Loss. Pop, funky bass line. I love the vocal effects on the chorus from Harry, sounds great. Dance No More, as I mentioned, dope groove, probably the catchiest song here. Hook is awesome. I love the DJ's Don't Dance No More call and response vocals with that like background vocal section. Excellent stuff. I think that song's really catchy. Paint by Numbers, songwriting wise, the most direct references to the Olivia Wilde romance, poignantly talking about being around her kids with Jason Sudeikis. Pretty illuminating, and also him being pretty frank with that kind of stuff. He usually is historically has been a bit more vague and above the fold with his like references to his personal life with his music. So that's a bit of a change here. And the last song, Carla's song, you have those up-tempo drums again. I think vocally was just a bit plain, kind of a middling outro for me. Harry, Kid Harpoon, like the vision for this, it's pretty cool, man. Again, he's not like painting new ground in pop, but it's new ground for him. And that's still pretty cool given the status he has. I wouldn't call this a safe record from Harry in terms of what his fans expect from him, but I think it should be pretty well received, I'd have to imagine. Let me know though, what'd you think of Harry's 4th album, Kissco? What do you think of this sonic direction? Are you happy with this change? Let me know. And for more music reviews, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.